Venezuelan opposition activist Maria Corina Machado has been awarded this year's Nobel Peace Prize, and Israel's military has pulled its troops back in Gaza, saying its ceasefire with Hamas has begun. Good morning, I'm Corva Coleman from NPR News, and here are today's top stories. This year's Nobel Peace Prize has been awarded to Venezuela's opposition leader, Maria Corina Machado. NPR's Eleanor Beardsley has more.
Nobel Chairman Jorgen Watna-Friedrich said Machado refused to stay silent and lives in hiding in her own country to fight for democracy. He described the work of her poll-watching organization in Venezuela's presidential race last year.
Despite the risk of harassment, arrest, and torture, citizens across the country held watch over the polling stations. They made sure the final tallies were documented before the regime could destroy ballots and lie about the outcome.
The right-leaning activist is also a staunch supporter of President Trump and has praised the administration's efforts to crack down on drug cartels in Venezuela. Eleanor Beardsley, NPR News, Paris.
The Israeli military says it has pulled back in Gaza to the line specified under a ceasefire agreement with Hamas. NPR's Greg Myrie reports this is the first in a series of moves both sides must take under the truce Israel says has gone into effect.
The Israeli military announced at midday that the troops had been repositioned. The move comes just hours after the Israeli government formally approved the ceasefire deal. While the pullback is a crucial first step, Israeli troops are still present in many parts of Gaza and still control just over 50% of the territory. In a statement, the military warned Palestinians to stay away from the troops, saying, quote, "Approaching them endangers your life." The Israeli redeployment means the clock is now ticking for Hamas, which has 3 days to release the 20 Israeli hostages still believed to be alive. Greg Myrie, NPR News, Tel Aviv.
A federal appeals court expressed skepticism about a lower court's order that blocks President Trump from deploying the Oregon National Guard to Portland. From Oregon Public Broadcasting, Conrad Wilson reports.
The Justice Department argues the president has sweeping authority to federalize and deploy the Guard over Oregon Governor Tina Kotek's objections. Trump wants 200 federalized National Guard members to help protect a U.S. immigration facility in Portland. Federal law allows the president to deploy the National Guard if there's an invasion, a rebellion, or if the president cannot enforce federal laws with regular forces. But the limitations of that authority were fiercely debated during this hearing. Attorneys with the state of Oregon and city of Portland acknowledged occasional violence at some ICE building protests, but argued that sending in the military is an overreach of executive power. For NPR News, I'm Conrad Wilson in Portland.
A federal judge has also temporarily blocked Trump from deploying National Guard troops in the Chicago area. The Trump administration has claimed that assaults on ICE officers are up 1,000%, but administration officials have not furnished any data or proof of this. Colorado Public Radio's Allison Sherry reports that a review of federal court filings doesn't show this either.
The administration has not only claimed an eye-popping increase on assaults on federal immigration officers, but they've also assured the public that anyone who assaults an officer will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Colorado Public Radio looked nationally at federal court charges for assaults on federal officers and have seen an increase since Trump took office. Roughly 25% more cases have been filed against people for assaulting an ICE officer. A lot of those charges come from cities that have seen increased immigration enforcement, including Los Angeles. The administration has not commented, though, on how or where they're coming up with the 1,000%. For NPR News, I'm Allison Sherry in Denver.
This is day 10 of the federal government shutdown. The Senate has failed to agree on new spending bills offered yesterday by both Republicans and Democrats. Monday is a federal holiday, so it doesn't appear that any resolution will be reached for several more days. Meanwhile, the Trump administration has started airing a video in airports across the country. It features Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. In the video, she's blaming Democrats for the shutdown. The Justice Department has indicted New York Attorney General Letitia James on 2 criminal counts involving bank fraud. In a video statement, James alleges she was charged because she successfully sued Trump for lying about the value of his own properties.
These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost.
Trump just installed the prosecutor who brought charges against James. The same prosecutor indicted former FBI Director James Comey for allegedly lying to Congress. He says he's innocent. The conservative youth group founded by late activist Charlie Kirk has made an announcement. Turning Point USA says it will put on counter-programming during music superstar Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show. NPR's Elena Moore reports on the conservative backlash to Bad Bunny's criticism of President Trump's immigration policies.
Turning Point is dubbing the event the All-American Halftime Show and says it will celebrate faith, family, and freedom. It follows other right-wing pushback against the National Football League's choice of headliner for this year's show. Bad Bunny, who is an American from Puerto Rico, mainly sings in Spanish but speaks and performs in English as well. He's fresh off a months-long residency in Puerto Rico and says he didn't tour in the 50 states because of concerns that ICE would target his shows. The three-time Grammy winner is seen as one of the most popular musicians in the U.S. and around the world. Elena Moore, NPR News.
A federal judge has thrown out a lawsuit by rapper Drake against his record label, Universal Music Group. Drake had alleged the company released a music track by his rap adversary, Kendrick Lamar, that defamed him. The track included false claims of pedophilia against Drake. Drake did not sue Lamar, but the judge says this was an opinion in a war of words. Drake and Kendrick Lamar had a rap battle last year that drew worldwide attention. A basketball folk hero has died. Sister Jean Dolores Schmidt was the chaplain for the Loyola University men's basketball team in Chicago. As NPR's Cheryl Corley reports, Sister Jean became an international celebrity when the team made it to the NCAA Final Four in 2018.
Born in 1919, Sister Jean played intramural basketball as a young girl. She became a nun after graduating from high school and was a teacher for decades. The beloved student advisor became a bit more famous when the Loyola Ramblers made it to the Final Four. And there was Sister Jean on the sidelines, decked out in the school colors and rooting on from her wheelchair. She was in her late 90s when Sister Jean told NPR she had a simple wish.
When I die, I want to go to heaven, and I want my friends to be there too.
Sister Jean was 106. She had retired earlier this year because of health issues. Cheryl Corley, NPR News, Chicago.
And I'm Corva Coleman, NPR News in Washington.